hungry.
Just eat!
Okay.
Yes! I'm done! Oh my gosh. Such a great work of F.Scott Fitzgerald. Maybe I will search more about his work. Born on September 24, 1896. Okay. The Saturday Evening Post. My gosh.
Hi, I am Angela Cruz and I am a literature major, and I'm going to discuss with you guys this time is F.Scott Fitzgerald. I am done reading it for the 5th time, and I'm an avid fan, and I know if you're watching this video, you're an avid fan too, because, well, watch this if you're not an avid fan. Okay, we'll start with my favorite quotes in this novel, which is, of course, I got my research. Everyone suspects himself of the least one of the cardinal virtues, and this is mine. I am one of the few people I have ever known. This is The Great Gatsby, 1925. And the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. F.Scott Fitzgerald is one of my favorite authors, and like you, of course, I go in different places just to research who and what kind of author she is. And at the first book of The Great Gatsby, you can say the preface, once again to Zelda. He really loves his wife, which is Zelda Ware, and at the same time, I know Zelda is an author too, and she writes. And even if F.Scott Fitzgerald is alcoholic, I don't mind as long as he got this American dream. F.Scott Fitzgerald is my favorite author because his writing style is very amazing. I mean, it's great. And let me give you some facts about The Great Gatsby. So this novel is its genre is modernist, model, jazz, age novel, and novel of manners. So he made it in. The sequel of making this book is American and France, and in between 1923 and 1924. So the date of its first publication is 1925, and the publisher of his work is Charles Scribner's Sons. So let's talk about the story itself. Okay. Nick Carraway, it's the narrator. Nick Carraway not only narrates the story but implies that he is the book's author. Okay, the point of view. Nick Carraway narrates in both first and third person, presenting only what he himself observed. Nick alternates sections where he presents events of books. The Great Gatsby.
Oh, Christina! Please, let's eat!
Okay. It's not die. some works of F.Scott Fitzgerald.
Wait, ma'am, I'll check if we have stock. Ma'am, we have one left of Ma'am, we have one of his works, The Beautiful and the Dumb.
It's fine, it's fine. Awesome. When will it be has a more copies of his work?
Let me check. Sorry, ma'am, that's the last that we. I'm so sorry. But if you like, ma'am, that book comes from to an avid fan of Fitzgerald.
Is he or can you tell me?
I really don't know her, but she's
Oh, tell me.
she's Lara Tampipi. She's Lara Tampipi.
Lara Tampipi?
Yes,
Really?
ma'am, yes. She's Lara
Where do I find her? When? But how can I find her?
I don't know, ma'am. That's the only information that I know.
Please tell me more information about her.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. That's the only information.
Excuse me, miss? Do you have a copy of, I'm looking for this book. Do you have a copy of Shakespeare's Midnight?
Yes, ma'am.
Please
Tell
tell
me.
me. Thank you.
That-
Yeah, you gotta check.
Oh, Christina!
Oh, yes.
Where are you going?
I'm just looking for someone.
It's late.
It's okay, it's okay.
Do you wanna hang with us?
No thanks.
But why? You're so serious.
Come on. No thanks, just, oh my gosh.
We're
Don't
gonna have
bother
fun.
me, don't bother me. Please,
Oh, no.
go,
Who's
go away.
bothering you?
It's okay, Jay. Come on.
Can help me?
Oh, we're very sorry.
Oh. So it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, just,
If that's your choice, we respect.
okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care. God bless. Oh, hi, you're here. Lara Tampipi, where are you?
Oh, you look beautiful. Why?
Christina.
Why?
Quiet.
Okay.
Make some, you know what? See that makeup? Oh. Oh. Don't want. Oh. Why did you?
Hey, what's your problem?
You know what? I'm just looking for someone and until I couldn't find her.
Looking for her.
Because she's know a lot about F.Scott Fitzgerald. And then,
Yes. She's a fan of Fitzgerald.
oh my gosh! Can you bring me to her?
Sure.
Yes. Come on.
Hey, Christina, come on, let's go. Why are you looking for me? Because someone told me that you're an avid fan of F.Scott Fitzgerald.
Yes, I'm an avid fan of Fitzgerald. Would you like to hear the story behind the man Gatsby?
Of course. Why not?
Francis Scott Fitzgerald is a handsome and ambitious boy, the pride and only joy of his parents, especially his mother. He is one of the most recognized figures in American literary and cultural history, not only as one of the major writers of the 20th century. He was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, and entered Princeton University in 1913. In 1917, before graduating, he left to take up a commission in the U.S. Army. There, he courted and became engaged to Zelda Sire, the daughter of an Alabama Supreme Court judge. After his discharge from the Army in 1919, he moved to New York City and worked briefly for an advertising agency. He sold his first story entitled Babes in the Wood, which appeared in the Smart Set. He returned to St. Paul and rewrote a novel he had begun while in the army, originally entitled The Romantic Egotist. It appeared in 1920 as This Side of This Paradise and was an almost immediate success. Fitzgerald and Zelda Sire were married in 1920. In that same year, his first collection of short stories entitled Flappers and Philosophers was published. His second novel, entitled The Beautiful and Damned, appeared in 1922 and was less well received. For much of his life, Fitzgerald was himself an alcoholic. In October 1922, the couple moved to Great Neck, New York. He revised his play entitled The Vegetable, which had an unsuccessful one-week run in 1923, and continued to turn out stories for magazines in order to extravagant his lifestyle. Because he could live more cheaply in Europe than in USA, the Fitzgeralds went to France in 1924. Another collection of short stories entitled Tale of the Jazz Age, which included The Diamond as Big as the Ritz. It was his own descriptive phrase of his early financial success as a writer. It enabled him and Zelda to lead the kind of decadent, boisterous existence it suggests. There, he met two other expatriate American writers, Ernest Hemingway, who became a close friend, and Gertrude Stein. In 1925, he published what many consider his best novel, The Great Gatsby. In 1926, a third collection of short stories entitled All the Sad Young Men was published. Zelda had the first of her nervous breakdowns in April 1930. She was hospitalized periodically, both in Europe and USA, from then until her death in 1948. Fitzgerald published his fourth novel, Tender is the Night, in 1934. Pressed for money, he was disappointed that it did not sell better. Another collection of short stories entitled Taps at Trivial followed in 1935. That same year, he began to write confessional essays about his broken health and exhaustion as a writer. The essays entitled The Crack Up, Pasting It Together, and Handled with Care were published in Esquire magazine in 1936. That was edited by his friend Edmund Wilson. For a few months in 1927 and then again in 1931 and 1932, Fitzgerald worked in Hollywood as a screenwriter. He worked on various screenplays but completed only one, which was The Three Comrades in 1938, and was eventually fired because of his drinking. Though he occasionally visited Zelda, who by Ian this time was in the hospital in North Carolina, he became involved with another woman, the columnist named Sheila Graham, whom he met in Hollywood in 1937. During his last month, Fitzgerald returned to writing fiction, producing several stories which were collected and published in 1962 as the Pat Habby Stories. He also began a novel about a Hollywood producer entitled The Last Tycoon, which, though unfinished, was published in 1941. Fitzgerald died of a heart attack in the apartment of Sheila Graham on December 1940.
Wow, so that is biography and achievements, but did he think that he do some mistakes?
F.Scott Fitzgerald died believing himself as a failure, but he is still considered as one of the best authors in the history of American literature, due almost entirely to the innermost success of The Great Gatsby.
Wow, so that is history? Well, thank you, madam.
So that is the end of our research.
But there's more yet.
But for now, that is the end of our research.
Bye!
Okay, this is about the writings of Scott Fitzgerald. Scott Fitzgerald, I think, he was very much influenced with the time that he was in, with his very own realistic setting, and I think that has influenced his writing much. So it has something to do with what he coined as the, if I'm not mistaken, those were the jazz times or the jazz world or the jazz era. If one of those would be correct. He tried to make his characters in a way that it would depict or try to characterize the people of that time also, rich and the poor, and how they interact with each other. One of his most famous works, and if I would say so, one of his most successful works is The Great Gatsby, which has been shown in theaters lately. And I would have to say that it shows the connection between the social status of everybody in that movie, and that would represent the people, the social status of the people during the jazz era that I spoke about, and it shows how they interact with each other, how the times make people go, and yeah, and how it affects him and the people of those time and his target audience. Yeah.